Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since it's been out there. The government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's late episode, we are going to be talking about the massive crash that is happening right now on Bitcoin. We had a very exciting detour that we took this morning, but we are here, very excited to be, because there's a huge crash going on Bitcoin right now. Before we get into it, we bought the dip. We bought the dippity dip on many of our favorite cryptocurrencies over just the last few minutes. Very excited about this corrective movement going on Bitcoin. And in this stream, I want to make one thing very, very clear. This is not about emotion. This is not about running around like a chicken with our freaking heads cut off. This is not about FUD. This is not about the bull market's over, the death of Bitcoin, the end is nigh. Although it is, but not in that sense, right? The end of the bull market is not here. This is not the end of you as an investor. And Bitcoin's not dead, contrary to popular belief. If you are new here, I've been working in the cryptocurrency market for over 7 years, and I love watching moments like this because it shows us what investors are made of. It shows us what we are made of. The first and most important thing I want to teach you today is that how you react in a situation like this shows you how strong you are as an investor and how strong your position is. The Bible talks about how a man of little strength will faint easily. And so if you are fainting right now, if you are afraid, fainting metaphorically, maybe literally, if you're afraid, if you're terrified, if you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, absolutely mortified at this drop, then I have two things for you. Number one, I love you, and I'm going to help you. And the reason you need help is because, number two, you done screwed up somewhere, and we got to go back to basics, and we got to figure out what we did wrong so that we can have the same philosophy that I have and we have right now, which is this is a sale. We believe in Bitcoin. We're buying more. We're going to start out looking at the charts because that's my background. That's my pedigree. I've been a technical analyst in Bitcoin for almost a decade. I'm one of the best in the industry. People talk about it all the time. We're going to talk about Bitcoin and where it's going from the technical standpoint. But then I'm going to share with you exactly what we are doing right now to continue building our wealth during this downturn. Our emotional state, how we're doing behind the scenes, like what does it look like? What are we doing? And what you need to be doing. Because the most important thing that we can do is application. See, we can sit here and we can talk about chart all day long, and we can, and believe me, I've done it before. But if we don't apply it, then what's even the point? So let's read some chat, and we're going to have some fun today. Sean O'Brien is in chat. Sid Last is in chat. Blasnik in chat. Mulvad is in chat. GT is in chat. Defla Kennedy. Prime Hunter 18. Joe Bollier. Jake Thomas. Sparky 69. Al Guz. A lot of people in chat today. We got a lot to cover, so let's dive right on into it. Fear and Greed is at the lowest point ever since CoinMarketCap began charting this back in the summer of 2023. That's very interesting because this corrective movement is not the largest correction that Bitcoin has ever seen. Not even close, but the fear is enormous. Everyone is expecting, I'll just kind of zoom in here so you can see this over here. Everyone is expecting that Bitcoin is about to take off and go to $150,000, $200,000, and then it drops. First, it breaks through $100,000. Then it breaks through $91,000. Then it breaks through $80,000, and people get really scared. That's where we are right now. And the reason that we're afraid, generally the reason that fear happens in the first place, is because an expectation isn't met. It's kind of similar to frustration. If you expect somebody to act a certain way and they don't, you get frustrated with them. If you're walking down the side of the road and you expect to be safe and a lion jumps out at you and tries to eat your face off, then you get scared. People were expecting, after Donald Trump got elected, that a strategic Bitcoin reserve was going to come on day one. And so therefore, Bitcoin was going to go straight to $250,000 and they were going to become rich. And you saw it all over X. Oh, well, if Bitcoin just hits this level, this is how I'm going to walk into work. This is how I'm going to quit. This is pride. This is arrogance. And this is foolishness, is what it is. Because we've got this idea that it's that simple. And it's not. If you think making money is that simple, then you are set up to fail. Make no mistake, fear, oftentimes, basically every time, signals that something is wrong. The question that we have to ask ourselves is whether or not something is wrong in the market or wrong in us. This is the lowest that fear and greed has been in the entire recorded history of fear and greed being charted on CoinMarketCap. And yet, the price of Bitcoin right now stands at $78,400, which is basically the exact same price that we just acquired at right before I went on stream. We just bought. Money where our mouth is. We just bought a considerable amount of Bitcoin. We believe in Bitcoin. If you'll notice, at $78,400, Bitcoin is witnessing a 17 on the fear and greed. Well, Bitcoin was trading at $72,000, $6,000 lower than we are right now. A year ago, to the day, a year ago, we were hitting all-time high, and the price was about $6,000 to $8,000 lower than we are right now, and the fear and greed was at 92. We were in extreme greed. So 1 year ago today, $72,000 was such an exciting development that fear and greed was at 92. The market was the most greedy that it had been in years. Now we correct back down, not to $72,000, but to $78,000, and people are flipping their crap. They're losing their mind. Let's rein that in a little bit. We've been telling you on this channel for months, not weeks, months, since back here, that we were going to backtest $73,000. We have been telling you this since December. In December, I was telling you we were going to backtest $73,000. In December, when Bitcoin was trading around $100,000, we said that Bitcoin's going to have a very difficult time getting through the range of $100,000. $100,000 isn't just the resistance, it's the beginning of the zone. You can get a little bit through $100,000 and still be caught in the catchment area of the resistance. If you have a line that you have as resistance, the market can break through that level and still reject off of it. We didn't reject off of just $109,000. By the way, we also rejected off of $2 trillion market cap. If you look at the BTC market cap chart, CoinMarketCap's the best place to see that. We actually rejected at 109 because we rejected off of the tandem resistance between $100,000 and the $2 trillion market cap. We went to the top of those two, which was the $2 trillion, which is part of the reason that we're so bullish. Right? Bitcoin was able to break through 100,000, stopped out at $2 trillion market cap. We didn't even get 8% above $2 trillion. Not even 4% above $2 trillion before we rejected. Jeb, why did we reject at 109? Well, because of the $2 trillion mark. We're down 25% from there. So why have we been saying for a long time that Bitcoin was going to hit 73,000? We've been right so far on that. What did we say would happen after? If you will recall, we have told you for a very long time on this channel that we were going to drop down to $73,000. In fact, we've said we're going to drop down to as low as $68,000, and I'll show you why that number is there in just a second. We don't make up numbers on this channel. We use facts and data. That's why people are still watching us a decade on. We said that we would be dropping to $68,000 at the bottom to about $80,000 at the top. Somewhere in this range, Bitcoin was going to drop and it was going to bottom. So far, we've dropped down to $78,000. This is the zone. The top of that zone, $80,000, is a big even. The bottom of that zone is the visible range, and it probably is looking like it's going to change. But for right now, the bottom of that zone at $68,000 is the visible range volume profile point of control. As you can see, we had the majority of our trading happen here right around 67.5. So that demarcates the bottom of our zone, and then the previous all-time high at $73,800 marks the center line. And it stands to reason as well because a drop down to $73,800 would be a 31 give or take, 32% drop on Bitcoin, which is very much in alignment with what we've seen in bull markets, bear markets, past, specifically in bull markets in past. Our most recent rally up to $73,800 was corrected by a 33% downtrend from $73,800 down to $50,000, which, if you notice, was a previous cycle top. We had a cycle top at $50,000. It was the high that we hit the day that the BlackRock and the other 12 Bitcoin ETFs went online. That is where we backtested. So we rallied up to, we just kind of show you this, we rallied up to $50,000, rejected, broke through, set a new all-time high at 73.8, backtested our previous high. What did we learn from the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy over the last 7 years? Backtesting previous resistance as support is a very strong way to build a bull market. Now we're doing the exact same thing, and people are flipping their crap. We've got the fear and greed at 12. Because people, at 17, because people don't read the charts. Because people are not subscribed to our channel. Because people are not following the wisdom that we teach. Whether they're subscribed to our channel or not, I don't care if you're subscribed to the channel. I just want you to be wise and have a good life. That's the only reason I'm here. I don't give a crap about all the numbers and the money and the data. I don't care. I just want you to succeed. People are not tracking with us here. Bitcoin fell back down to $50,000, the previous cycle top at 50K. Then we bounced and we rallied. How far did we rally? Well, in this first case, we rallied at 90%. This most recent rally, we rallied 125%. So don't you think we might need a corresponding correction to match that? No, Jeb. No. This time, Bitcoin doesn't need a correction. This time, Bitcoin can just flag out. It can just trade sideways. No, that's not the way it works. People take profit. Of course they do. This time we rallied 90%. We traded sideways for 6 months and we dropped 33%. This time we rally 125% and people think we're not going to need a correction. The bill comes due. Large rallies require deep pullbacks. It's always the case. Always. It is always that way. A drop down to $73,000 that I've been talking about against the grain for months is healthy. And it is the gateway to the next leg up. People are taking this announcement of a Bitcoin strategic reserve as a nothing burger. If you read the executive order fact sheet on whitehouse.gov, you will see that the Department of Commerce and the Department of the Treasury are instructed to find ways to accumulate more Bitcoin. Everyone focused on the fact that it said budget neutral. Friends, somebody posted in chat the other day a perfect example of what I'm talking about. There's like a 2 billion pound strategic cheese reserve in a cave somewhere near the Mississippi River. Like, you can sell the cheese and you can buy Bitcoin. You can sell gold and buy Bitcoin. The government probably won't do that, but they could. You could take the savings from Doge and buy Bitcoin. You could issue bonds and buy Bitcoin. You could issue treasuries and buy Bitcoin. You could do anything you want to buy Bitcoin in a way that's budget neutral. If anybody's good at monkeying the accounting, it's Washington, D.C. If the Trump administration wants to buy Bitcoin, then Bitcoin gonna get bought. People took that as a nothing burger, and it was the wrong way to read it. This was what we were looking for, was the United States acquiring Bitcoin, and we were also looking for the United States to differentiate Bitcoin and altcoins because they are different. Altcoins look like securities. They're not. I don't think they passed the Howey test. They are decentralized and all this, but they look a lot more like companies. I'd invest in a bunch of them. I'm not against them. I don't think that they should be regulated as securities by the SEC. I think the SEC should keep their hands out of it, and there should be their own governing body. I'm not stepping into that debate. But what I am saying is that Bitcoin and the altcoins are in two completely different leagues. Bitcoin should be the only asset in the reserve, and there should be an altcoin stockpile. That's exactly what we were wanting for. That's exactly what I voted for. And that's exactly what the people voted for. So people are freaked out right now. And here's why. Here's why people are freaked out. Two reasons. Number one, they don't understand the chart. They don't get it. They don't understand that you need to have a 20, 30, 40% correction in the middle of the bull market to maintain a healthy bull market. There's actually three reasons. Number two, I'm going to add this one real quick. Number two, government. The United States government is going to be buying Bitcoin. What do you think every single major institutional player on planet Earth wants right now? for the market to crash through the freaking floor. Literally, as I'm saying that, I'm reading some Bill Brewer, looking like they're saying something like that. I need to read that chat here in just a minute, but something like that. The government is going to be buying Bitcoin. Everyone who knows anything about Bitcoin wants Bitcoin to plummet so they can buy the dip. I'm part of the group of wise people. I bought the dip because we invest in assets that we reasonably expect will be worth more in 5 to 10 years than they are right now. And Bitcoin is absolutely slam dunk in that category. The government's going to be buying Bitcoin. We're probably going to see a strategic Bitcoin reserve coming out of Texas soon. If Texas were an independent country, it would be the 7th, I believe, maybe 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that, largest economy on planet Earth, the size of Italy or France. Texas is probably going to be buying Bitcoin soon as well. Governments are going to be acquiring Bitcoin. A lot of it. A lot of it. The institutions want the market to crash. Another reason why we're seeing all this play out, here's what you need to understand. Bitcoin was always going to go through a correction, and it's good for it. That's what you need to know. All right, so what should we be doing right now? What should we expect to come? Let's talk about what's next. We just go ahead and do the remove drawings button here. This was the issue. Here's the issue. The issue was that led us here, and the reason we're looking at what got us here, so we're going to see what's going to get us out of here. What led us here is that Bitcoin found support at roughly $90,000. Call it, give or take, $89,000 to $91,000. In fact, let's just be precise. We'll go ahead and draw a box right here. Go ahead and draw a box right here. This was our support architecture. You can see the touches down here. Right here. All these touches, this inverse head and shoulders pattern we built that took us up to 109. We had a little flash crash here in January. We had a little drop right here down to 91. This was roughly our support. When Bitcoin broke beneath that, if we go back to here, there was nothing on the visible range volume profile. Let's see if it'll print. It won't print while we're it won't print while we're looking into the past. But what we can do is we can go ahead and turn on fixed range volume profile. Volume profile, fixed range volume profile. Where is it? There it is. If we go ahead and turn on fixed range volume profile to right here, we go back to the modern day without the backwards. Actually, let's take this. Give us 1 second. Let's take this back over here. If we look at the volume profile for all of this time, here we go. All of this rally and everything, you see that point of control at $67,000. That's the bottom range of our bottom for this cycle. You see the bottom here from our recent trading here, right around $89,000, right? And if we do not use a fixed range volume profile here, and we take out this recent trading before the drop happened, right? So the fixed range is not taking into account this data over here that's not in the shaded area, because I want to show you what the market looked like before we dropped down here, because it changes the data. Before we dropped, this is what the VRVP, the VRVP looks like. This is what the fixed range volume profile, FRVP, looks like without the modern data, the last 2 weeks. A giant chasm. There's nothing there. People talk about CME gaps. I've never heard anyone else talk about a visible range volume profile gap. Now, I'm sure someone does. I'm not saying no one else on YouTube does, but I've never really seen that. There was a gap in the trading. I don't know if this was intentional. It probably wasn't, but it almost looks like this was left here intentionally, and the market makers shot us up to 91, so there'd be a really easy technical reason to crash the market down to 73 and get a lower entry. After it went high enough for Bitcoin to be popular enough for it to be popular to get the strategic Bitcoin reserve passed. It almost looks like there's manipulation on the side of long-term adoption for Bitcoin, but on the side of short-term accumulation by people that know what's going on. If you watch this stream, you know what's going on. You're welcome. So tune in every single day. This gap needed to be filled. Everybody's talking about the CME gap. I'm aware of the CME gap. We've talked about it. In fact, you can see it right here. The CME gap was right down here. There was still a little tiny one. We saw this happen right before the SBR was announced. We dropped all the way down to 78,000, but we did not quite fill this CME gap. You can see the CME gap was right there. We didn't quite fill it. We didn't get there entirely. As you can see, it's like right there. This is it right there. Can't get it exactly right there. There it is. And still, as of right now, we have still not completely filled that gap. Bitcoin needs to drop down to 77,940 to completely fill that gap. There's still $300 tall gap here. It's still there. There's still a gap on CME. Bitcoin right now has not filled it yet. So there was this gap on visible range volume profile. There was the CME gap. They both needed to be filled, and now they're getting filled. The last question that we need to kind of tackle here, because we understand why we got here. We needed a sell-off, big rally, needs a big correction. We got the CME gap, we got the visible range volume profile gap. You understand how we got here. Boom. Now you need to understand what happens next. Well, what happens next is the rest of our price target either plays out or it doesn't. What does that mean? Well, our price target was always about 67 to 80,000. That's kind of the range that we've been talking about, really more like 73.8. That's really been the main range is down here. Right, I could see us holding at 80, but I always kind of felt like we needed to drop back and back test the previous all-time high. Generally, what happens is if you have a previous all-time high, it's got this sense of magnetism to it. It's magnetic. You get drawn to it. You get sucked into it. And so this drop back down to $74,000, $73,800 is, I'm not going to say essential, but it's probably going to end up happening. The only argument that won't happen is that on the short term, as of right now, we are setting a double bottom. There is a double bottom forming right here at $78,000, and as a result of that, that's why we bought. If you check our X account, in fact, I guess I can just show it to you real quick. We just bought the bottom, right? Here's the trade. Just bought it. It's right there. This was literally 40 minutes ago. We just bought the bottom at 78.4. That was the price that we got filled at, right? And we also bought a plethora of other altcoins. So it is possible that we bought them here. And the reason that and that's part of the reason that we bought, is that there is a possibility that this double bottom is the bottom. It's possible. But there's also a very, very, very real possibility that we drop down to $73,000. And I'm still leaning more in that direction. There's a huge amount of bearishness right now, and that's causing people to freak out and panic sell. And I would not be surprised at all to see us drop down to 73. Now, should you wait that long to buy the bottom? What we are doing, this is where the wisdom part comes in, the application. What we are doing is we bought the dip, and if we drop farther, we'll buy more. We did not use all of our cash. We never do. We use a portion of our cash when the market dips, and then we always keep more of it. So if there is more dip, then we'll be ready to buy more. That's what we do. We exist in a profit. As a business, we are a for-profit business. NordVPN over there, they pay to have that there. Newsflash, I'm a capitalist. If you don't like it, go find a socialist and watch them run your bank account into the freaking ground. I'm a capitalist, and I'm okay with that, right? We run a for-profit business by doing good work that helps people. We don't rip anybody off. We do good work that helps people, and we make sure that that we run a profit. And so we have cash. We don't live on everything. The Bible says that it is a fool who devours all that he has and has nothing left, and he has to become a beggar. Some people wind up in the position where they have to be a beggar, and it's none of their fault. Some people are just cursed. Some people are born into it. In fact, most humans that have ever been born in human history just needed to have, they're just screwed. Good luck getting out of that situation, right? But if you're in a position where you are blessed enough to not have to be a beggar and you spend all of your money and you don't have a profit, guess what happens if you drive towards a cliff? Eventually you fall off. Don't be stupid with money. Right? And so we exist in a profit. And so if Bitcoin drops farther, we will have profit to put into the market. We have a cash pile and we'll have profit. Okay, so what happens after that, and what do we do then? If we drop down to $73,800, people are going to think that it's the end of the world. People are going to think that it's the end of Bitcoin. People are already thinking that. People are already thinking, man, I just hate Bitcoin. Man, look, there we go. There we go. We got somebody in chat saying Ponzi Bitcoin, right? Exactly. Here's the deal. Even if this is the beginning of the bear market, which for the record, I don't think it is. But even if it is the beginning of the bear market, because in all honesty, it is possible. But even if it is the beginning of the bear market, that's okay, because the future for Bitcoin always looks brighter. Jeb, that sounds like dogmatism. No, I think it sounds like history. That's always been the case, and I have every reason to believe it always will be. Here's what we're doing. I think that Bitcoin will bounce somewhere between 67 and 73. I don't have a whole lot of confidence that we're done dropping yet. Even as we're speaking, we're breaking that. Yeah, actually, I will say with quite a bit of confidence, in just the next few minutes, you're going to see a sizable drop below $78,000. I'll just go ahead and make that call live here on air. I'd be relatively confident that that's going to happen. We could be wrong. We could be building an inverse head and shoulders pattern, but this is a lot of momentum pushing down on $78,200. A lot of momentum. I think you're going to see a break of a couple hundred, if not over $1,000. Here pretty soon. I think you're going to start to see $77,000 Bitcoin, potentially within just the next few minutes. But I think what's going to happen in the long run is you're going to see a drop down towards 67 to 73. From there, then you're going to end up seeing some kind of big news like Treasury buying Bitcoin, and you're going to see a freaking massive rally. And from that point in time, that huge rally is going to vindicate those of us that bought the dip. And so I'm very excited about the dip. I love buying the dip, and that's what we're doing. Here's my point. Here's kind of my point in all this. The entire market right now is in correction. The United States S&P 500 is in correction. You know, we've got a global trade war igniting. We've got the second Cold War beginning. We've talked about in recent content about how the second Cold War is starting right before our very eyes. By the way, if you don't think that we're about to see a drop on Bitcoin, I would encourage you to go and watch through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. This is our current level right here. This is a descending triangle pattern. We could hold. It is possible. It is. It really, really is. It just does not seem more likely. We're looking at a global trade war breaking out. You see China putting tariffs on Canada. You see the Americans putting tariffs on Canada. You see Canada putting tariffs on America. You see America and Mexico going back and forth, although Mexico's cooperating a little bit more than Canada is. You see the Eurozone bracing for economic warfare with Russia, right? All over the world. You see this kind of tension heating up. And that has a huge impact on global supply chains. I mean, honestly, this is probably going to have as large, if not a larger impact on the prices of goods, not the scarcity of goods, but the prices of goods that COVID did. I'm not saying that you're going to start having bare shelves. What I'm saying is that you're going to start having prices be impacted in a similar way. Now, we can talk in the long run about how tariffs are potentially good for the United States economy because they could bring in revenue, they could bring in investment and jobs into the United States. Since we're such a big market, flexing our muscle isn't necessarily always a bad choice. We can talk about the long-term impacts of tariffs. In the short term, though, everybody knows it. Tariffs are going to lead to inflation. It's very simple. And so that is always going to crash the market because the market is very inflation weary. The market is very, very, very inflation weary. People are tired of it. And so with that, you're seeing the stock market crash because people are sick of inflation and Bitcoin's a risk on asset. So Bitcoin is crashing as well. This corrective movement is not over. It's going to take time, and those of us who are patient and take advantage of these buying opportunities are going to be glad they did. I am very excited to see I am very excited to see this crash, very excited to see where we go next, and I really want to encourage all of you guys to look into the far future as well. So let's kind of come at this, now that we've got an idea of what's going to happen next, let's come at this from the technical standpoint of what happens after the bottom. Whether we drop down to 73.8 or we drop down to 67, it's going to look relatively similar. You're going to end up seeing a rally, and if we drop below 73.8, then you're going to have to break through that resistance, so that may take a little while. Then you're going to have to break through this double bottom, so that may take a little while, and it's going to take a few months to rally back up to all-time high. It's going to take time for Bitcoin to get back up there because this is a deep correction in the similar way that it took a little bit of time for us to get back up to all-time high following the rally to $73,800. If we drop down to 67, it's obviously going to take a little bit longer. But if we drop down to $73,800, then that is where it may be a little bit easier. I think what's going to happen is as you get down here and people get super fearful, you guys are so afraid in chat. There's so much fear in chat right now. Guys, toss out whether or not the fear that you're experiencing is because of what you are actually seeing in the market or if it's because you're overexposed. We'll talk about that more in a minute. As time goes on, and after we find the bottom, it'll take time for us to get back to all-time high. And I have seen enough of these corrections to know what's probably going to happen. We're probably going to get down to the bottom, and everybody's going to think it's over, and people are going to think the bull market's over. And at one point, people that think the bull market is over are going to be right? I mean, this could be it. It could be. I don't think so, but it could be. It could be the end of the bull market. We'll see. If we start dropping down to like $60,000, if we break below 67, yeah, that's where I'm like, I think this might be the beginning of the bear market, y'all. If we hold at 67 to 78 though, 73 though, then that's exciting. What I've seen happen a lot of times when we go through a healthy correction, which this is still in the range of a healthy correction. If we go through a healthy correction and we get a bottom on the S&P 500, I've just noticed that really, really bullish news tends to happen at the bottom. And some of that's manipulation. Some of it's just timing and coincidence. All of it's good for us, though. Right? And so if we just get some really good news down here at the bottom, which we probably will, then that's where you start to see a big rally. That's where you start to see a big old rally. Hey, remember about 5 minutes ago when I said you're going to see a big drop here in just a little bit? Yeah, that's starting right now. So best be watching your trading screens. Hey, by the way, if you've not already, make sure to sign up for Blowfin with the link in the description box down below. If you want to be trading Bitcoin, that's the best place to be doing it. Links down below. If you sign up with our link, you'll get access to a trading competition that's going on right now. Big deposit bonus. A lot of cool stuff going on over there. Bitcoin is currently breaking into a new cycle low, new bear cycle low as we watch. $77,951 at the current price. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at this down on the 1 second chart. Love watching the second chart with you guys when things are happening live. 77,846 coming in, 77,839, 77,833 as our new local bottom, 77,824. Let's see if Bitcoin can break and rally above its 1 minute 20 exponential moving average. Definitely not. It's much higher than we thought. 77,808 as our new local bottom. If you'll remember to about 5 minutes ago, I told you that you're about to see about a $1,000 correction on Bitcoin. We have accurately called that. Bitcoin was trading at 78.3 when we said that. 77,777. Great number. 77,750. Love watching this drop coming in. Love acquiring lower down here. Would love to see Bitcoin absolutely flash crash. Not to screw any of you guys over that are in longs, not to make you guys that went into shorts rich, but because the faster Bitcoin gets this crash out of its system, the faster we can move on to the next stage of the rally, and also the better entries that we are going to be able to get. In fact, as we speak, I'm going to just go ahead and go on another screen and buy the dip a little bit more. Now, I'm not going to show you that, of course, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it live on air because I don't really want to wait until the stream is over just in case we go into a rally. We're currently at 77,745. We're going to buy a little bit of coin right here. Let's go ahead and buy right there. Boom. All right, cool. We just bought the dip at 77.7. Can't show you that on stream just because, you know, privacy. But we are currently looking at $77,700. $77,690. Love watching these drops. Drop farther, Bitcoin. Do it. We love to see it. There was my email giving us the confirmation of that order being filled. Love watching Bitcoin crash. Love it when we get to buy Bitcoin on stream. Don't get to do that very often. We're already in a slight profit on that buy. 77,777 coming back. 77,700. Let's just watch this live for a little while. While we're doing this, let's talk about some of the reasons that you might be afraid right now. I'm not afraid at all. I have no fear whatsoever. And I'm not trying to say that to brag. I've had to learn how to not be afraid because I'm going to be honest, just because I'm on YouTube doesn't mean that it doesn't freak me out sometimes when Bitcoin goes through corrections. I mean, my entire job rides on you guys being interested in Bitcoin, right? It's not like it doesn't freak me out. Here's what we have done in our life as we watch this live. Here's what we have done in our life to eliminate that fear. We have decided to follow something that has changed our life for the better, and we call it the financial sovereignty way. There are 7 laws and 10 steps in the financial sovereignty way. I just kind of want to go over the 7 laws here for a moment, and we'll continue to watch here. Mods, if you could be helping me out in chat with the knuckleheads that are spamming the chat, that would be much appreciated. We've got some people that have nothing better to do in their life except code bots for coins that don't even exist. I still don't understand what the point of that is. Why would you make a thing spamming a coin that's not even real? Never understood that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get that stuff out of our chat. Thank you, Queen. Keep it up, guys. Delete all this crap. Nonsense in chat. But these 7 laws are very important. They've been pivotal for us, and they've given us peace, right? They've given us peace and strength to be able to operate correctly in these markets. And there's 7 laws, and the first one is to choose to be financially sovereign. You see, we are in control over our money. We have a new low coming in at 77,570 as our new local bottom. We are in control of our money. We don't let it drive fear, and it's not that we're not tempted to be afraid. It's that the things that caused our fear we have treated. Fear is always a symptom of something else. That fear might be that a lion just jumped out at you, and the fear is telling you need to run. That fear might be that you're spending way too much money, and you need to quit. Emotions are supposed to elicit a response. So they're there for a reason. Your fear shows up for a reason. You don't just need to deny the fact that you're afraid. New bottom coming in, 77,565. We need to understand what's causing our fear. We've got a descending triangle pattern forming, meaning another drop is likely to be coming relatively soon. We are currently down about $800 since we made that $1,000 drop within the next few minutes call about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to go ahead and Let's see. Who do I trust? Who else is in chat that we can elevate to be a mod? With the enemy plan for destruction, we plan for love, right? Who else in chat deserves to be a mod? 77,500. 77,500 is our new bottom. Let's see if we're going to continue down. We probably are. To be totally honest, I don't think we're at the bottom yet. Remember, there's not much support down to 73.8. There's really not. There's just not much support down to 73.8. And so we've got to watch out for that. I love how one of these things is called Shelling Army. No, not timeout. No. No, we're not going to do that and ever be on the channel ever again. No, that's going to be a ban, is what that is. Let's see. Cool. Don't just delete their comments, ban them. Oh, yeah, no, they're banned. Yeah, we're definitely putting them in ban. Ban Central. I love dropping the ban hammer. 77,476 as our new local bottom. Kryptoni said, I'm always here for you. That's true. You are. Be a moderator. Good job, Kryptoni. Thank you. Looks like we got everybody. Folks, I think we got them. All right. I got you, man. I've been here for years. I know. Thank you, Kryptoni. We appreciate it. All right. Now, if you just tuned in, Bitcoin's dipping. We bought the dip. I had to switch to my face cam for a second. What in the world? We literally just banned this guy. Wow. That's something right there. Punch through the ban. Let's ban him again. I get to drop the ban hammer again. Love it. All right, we were talking about the 7 laws of money, guys. We choose to be financially sovereign. We're in control over our money. We don't let it control us. 77,394 coming in as a new low. I want you guys to understand that you don't have to be afraid. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. We are to be in control. If your money is making you afraid, then it means that you're not in control of your money. That's what it means. It means you're not in control of your money. Philly Skills 1428 said, you know I'm here. I do know you're here. I just made you a mod. There you go. Thank you, Philly Skills. We appreciate it. So we are to be in control of our money. Because if our money is making us afraid, there's an issue. There's an issue with the way our money is being managed, right? And so we've got to watch out for that. The first law of money is to choose to be financially sovereign. The second law of money is to live on less than we make. And the reason that we live on less than we make is because we need to make sure that we don't run towards a cliff. If we drive towards a cliff for too long, eventually we're going to fall off the cliff. That's the way it goes. If you drive towards a cliff for long enough, you're going to fall off. It's that simple. If you drive towards a cliff for long enough, you're going to fall off the cliff. That's just kind of the way it works. So if we drive towards a cliff, we're going to fall off the cliff, and we got to stop doing that. We got to live on less than we make. Law number 3, we need to have a written plan for our money. Jesus says it is a fool who sets out to build a tower, doesn't count the cost, gets halfway up the tower, realizes that he's out of control, that he doesn't know how much money he needs to complete the tower because he didn't have a plan, he didn't count the cost, and so everybody starts laughing and mocking him to scorn. This is a passage that's talking about salvation, count the cost of salvation, of following Jesus, but it's the same principle as the guy in the tower, building the tower. The reason that he screwed up was because he didn't count the cost. He didn't have a plan, didn't have a budget. We need to have a written plan for our money at all times. It's called a budget, an investment plan. Generally, we're mainly talking about a budget, but it also encompasses having an investment plan. We need to have a plan for our money. Retirement plan. We need a plan. Law number 4, we avoid debt as much as possible. There are times to go into debt. They're very, very few and far between. The only time that we recommend that you go in, that you even consider debt is if you're buying your first residence and you follow our guidance on how to get a mortgage. A 15-year fixed rate mortgage. We want you to put enough into the principal to be able to pay it off in 10 years so that you can be debt free as quickly as possible. And that's about it. That's about it. That's about the only time that we are like, okay, we allow debt. Either that or if somebody's dying. Law number 5, we save and invest for the future. When should you invest? When the market's down. So long as it's a trustworthy enough market that the market's going to come back, then we invest when the market's down. Right? Law number 6, we're radically generous. This is the entire purpose. I don't teach you how to make money so that you can go and be a hedonist. Right? Because here's what happens to people that live on the Maui coast, that just sit on the beach in a lawn chair all day drinking martinis. They die because they realize they don't have a purpose, and they die. Their soul's like, we're not needed anymore. Let's just go ahead and go through apoptosis and off ourselves. Without purpose in life, you die. That's what happens. You get spiritual death, and you end up physically dying as well. If what you're doing doesn't benefit someone other than you, you've missed the point. I don't do what I do because it makes money. I do what I do because I see the fruit of you guys doing better today than you were doing yesterday because of what we taught you and you implemented it. Generosity has got to be the reason that we do what we do. It's okay to enjoy our wealth, and we should, but you've got to choose to be generous. And then there's the zeroth law of money. The zeroth law of money is that it is not our money. It is God's money, so we shall obey him. New bottom coming in at 77,395. Let's see if we can drop farther. Hope we can. It is God's money, not ours, so we obey him. This is not my channel. I steward it. This is God's channel. This is not my money. It's God's money, so I steward it. And I do my best to obey him. And we have his blessings. Our blessings are directly attached to obedience to Christ and our faith in the only one that ever could be obedient to Christ, who is to God, who was Jesus Christ. Those are our 7 laws of money. Zeroth law of money, we choose to obey God because it's his money, not ours. First law of money, we choose to be financially sovereign. Second law of money, we live on less than we make. Third law of money, we have a written plan for our money. Fourth law of money, we live on less than we make. We have a written plan for our money. We avoid debt. We save and invest for the future, and we're radically generous. The zeroth law of money and the sixth law of money bracket the entire structure. The zeroth law of money is that it's God's money, not our money, so we shall obey him. The sixth law of money is we should be radically generous. Why? Because it's God's money, and we shall obey him, and he is generous. He's been generous with us, and we should be generous with others. Because that's God's purpose, is to bless us. Give me a logical argument against a single one of those laws. Try it. Try it. It doesn't exist. If you do these things with money, you will have peace. If you don't do these things with money, then you will not have peace. Period. We've got to be careful with how we treat money because it will rule over you, and it is an evil, evil, evil master. You do not want to be money's slave. Because in a situation like this where the floor is falling out from the market, you now can't sleep at night because what's going on the chart. If money is your master, then what's going on the chart stops you from having peace. If money is your master, then when the market is down, you're mean to your kids, and when the market is up, you're generous to them and you're kind to them. If money is your master, then that means whenever the market is down, you are a jerk to your wife, and whenever the market is up, you look like you're a nice guy, and you're really not. Nice gal to your husband, whatever. Do not let money be your master. Be sovereign over it. This is important. Some of you guys will hear what I'm saying, and you'll say, absolutely, amen, yes, that's right, let's do it. Some of you guys are going to say, Jeb's an idiot, and I'm gone. And a select few of you guys will be right in the middle and say, man, this guy, he's making some sense. I don't know if he's right or not, but he's making some sense. What I'm saying is too big of a claim not to investigate. You need to investigate financial sovereignty, and you need to investigate whether it actually works or not. Don't take my word for it. Talk to some of the people in chat who are doing it. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. As with anything, do your own research. See if I'm right. See if I'm right. See if I'm right. So, are you buying the dip? Are you buying right now? Are you buying right now or not? You don't have to. There's no law that says you have to buy Bitcoin right now. But I'm just curious. Are you buying Bitcoin? Are you buying this dip? We literally just stepped away and bought the dip. We literally just stepped away and bought the dip. Oh, but by the way, I will say this. If you claim to be a Christian and you're letting money be your master, repent. Repent. Because that's not biblical. Now, you might not realize the money's your master. I understand it's going to take some time to figure out how to not have that be the case. I will help you with that. Sometimes the reason we haven't repented of something is because we genuinely just don't know how. We genuinely just don't know what we're doing is wrong. If you're a Christian, follow what God says on money because he wants to bless you spiritually. It's not necessarily always about having a larger portfolio. It's about sleeping at night. It's about being a good person. It's about being righteous. It is about having an impact on people. It is about being told, well done, my good and faithful servant, when you get to heaven. I do financial coaching with people all the time. I'm a financial coach at my core. I help people put their money in the right place. And something that I see all the time is that people have all these negative spiritual fruits. They've got fear. They feel enslaved. They feel like, here's a big one. Oh, I can't tell people at my job about Jesus because I'll get fired, and then X, Y, Z, and the third will happen. You need to have financial strength, not because it's all about you having money. It's because you need to have financial strength. As far as you need to be obeying God, right? Someone said how to repent. Well, that's where we have the 10 steps of the financial sovereignty way. Look, I'm just a megaphone for God's word. I teach on what God says on money. I'm not saying the financial sovereignty way is the only way to do this. But what I will say is the 7 laws of money are just as true today as they were at the beginning and the foundations of the earth, and they're just as true today as they will be forevermore, and they will never change. Bring your life into alignment with the 7 laws of money. Number 1, choose to be financially sovereign. Number 2, live on less than you make. Number 3, have a written plan for your money. Number 4, avoid debt. I say avoid, not completely eliminate debt, because the Bible never says that debt is sin. It just says that it teaches that almost every single time it's foolish. There are a select few times where I would want you to go into debt. If somebody said you've got to go into debt, if you're in a situation where it's like, hey, I want you to have a Bible. Oh, I don't have any money. Okay, then I'd want you to either borrow a Bible or borrow $20 and go buy a Bible, right? Debt is not sin. But it is almost always foolish. Almost always it is foolish. If your kid's dying of cancer, I'd rather you take out a loan and get treatment for them than to have no debt and have no child, right? But it is almost always foolish. That's the truth. Law number 5, save and invest for the future. Law number 6, be radically generous. The 0th law of money, which we added later, but it is the 0th law because it's foundational, is this: God's money, not yours, so obey him. To the Christian listening, obey God. Period. Don't like that? Admit you're Satan's child. If you don't want to obey God, you're not a Christian. Don't claim to be one. God doesn't like it when people misuse his name. If you're a Christian, then do what you can to obey God and ask him to help. If you want to obey God, I recommend that you follow the 7 laws of money. Each one of them is found in the Bible. Each one of them is taught throughout Scripture, not just in one place, all over the place, everywhere. Everywhere from the first book of the Bible to the last, you see these kind of laws being taught. I'm just here to teach you about them. Is Bitcoin going to drop lower? Maybe. I hope so. I mean, we're just kind of trading sideways now, right? We're just kind of flagging out. We'll see. One thing that is exciting is that if Bitcoin does actually bottom here, this could be the beginning of the bottom, right? We do have bullish RSI divergence forming on daily chart. So this could be the very beginning of the uptrend. This actually could be the exact bottom. We could be watching the bottom right now together. And that is very much a serious possibility. We don't know. We just don't know. The bottom could be at 73.8. The bottom could be right now. The fact of the matter is we just don't know until we know. Which God are you talking about? The one true King, who is Jesus Christ the righteous, the propitiation for our sins, not the sins of just us, but the sins of the whole world. Love that you're spreading God's word. That's the goal. If you like what we're saying, or if you're just on the fence about what we're saying and you're like, I need to investigate what this guy's saying about God. I need to investigate what this guy's saying about money. I need to investigate what this guy's saying about Bitcoin. Subscribe to the channel. I love you. I love you so much. I want to see your life just be overwhelmed with blessing. But whether or not you're blessed does have some to do with your actions. With your actions. When we started this stream, we were back over here. We said that within an hour, Bitcoin's going to drop $1,000. Bitcoin then went on to drop $1,000. You know, one of the reasons that God gave the gift of prophecy, I'm not saying that was prophetic. I'm not saying that in the slightest. But what I am saying is that, you know, one of the reasons that God gave the gift of prophecy is so that people will listen. That's the reason that God gave the gift of prophecy to Paul. It's the reason that God gave all the spiritual gifts, is so people will listen and see the miracles and say, that must have been from God. The success that we've had in this channel over the last 7 years is a blessing from God, and the wise among you will see that and say, wow, Jeb's probably teaching something that's true, Because look at how freaking blessed he is. I am so blessed. I'm not smart enough to make this work. I am not diligent enough. I have looked back on the last 7 years of this channel and said to myself, man, I'm too freaking dumb to have made that happen. There ain't no way I could have rubbed my last two brain cells together and figured out that yellow line is the 20 exponential moving average. There's no way I could have rubbed my two brain cells together and figured out how to build a channel with 250,000 subscribers and have reached over, like 10 million people across every single nation on planet Earth. The blessings that this dude, Jeb, has on him are enormous. And those blessings are not just so that I can sit around and have a good life, although I'm very, 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 very thankful for it. The blessings on my life of my family and the success in every single way is God's way of saying, hey, maybe Jeb's teaching something that's true. Maybe the laws of money are accurate. Because they are. I don't deserve any of the blessings that we have, but look at the blessings that we have on this channel and realize we've got something going on here. Are miscarriages a blessing then? No, they're not. They suck. We've been through them. I do have the, I don't know if you should say authority, not authority, but I do have the place to speak on that because we've been through them and they're horrible. God never intended for there to be death. We chose sin, and so death entered the world. Let's continue watching chat. Yeah, the yellow line is a 20 exponential moving average. Watch for years and never caught you live. Bless you, Jeb. Bless you too, mostly broke. Hopefully it'll be only a little broke, and then not broke, and then getting a little bit better. Hopefully we'll see that. Hope the S&P 500 bottoms soon. Yeah, the S&P 500 has a lot to do with what's going on Bitcoin right now. S&P 500, as we speak, is going through a rally. Will you notice with me that S&P and Bitcoin are tracking very close together? S&P 500 just hit a new bottom at the exact same time that Bitcoin did. S&P 500 is bouncing, and so is Bitcoin. They are tracking almost hand in hand. Watch the S&P 500, and I will tell you what happens with Bitcoin. Philly Seals 1428, looking good with that little wrench next to your name, my friend. Hello, first time watching you. Tupaj123, how are you doing? Here comes Bitcoin roaring back to life. $78,300. I'm so glad I stepped away and bought Bitcoin down on the dip. We bought Bitcoin, I think, right here. And then also before we went on stream, we bought Bitcoin like right there. So we've got two purchases here in just the last couple of minutes, last hour or two. Very excited about this, about the way the market is right now. Whoop, dropped my phone. We're going to read chat for a little bit longer, and then we're going to continue. We're going to wrap it out. Guys, make sure to smash that like button. Let's get like 700 likes. Let's do it. Hey, by the way, do me a favor. Tune in tomorrow. We do this stream at 10 a.m. Eastern every single weekday, and I want to see your smiling face here once again because I genuinely believe that what we are teaching here on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel will revolutionize your life if you will listen and if you'll actually do it. I can lead you to water. I can't make you drink, but if you've got something inside of you that says, I want life to be different, dang it, I'm sick and tired of where I am. I'm tired of feeling like I'm just cursed. I'm tired of feeling like I'm drowning. I'm tired of not having the investments that I want. I'm tired of feeling broke. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. If you've had enough of having enough, then subscribe to the channel. I'll show you what to do with that energy. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're just going to get freaking ticked off and have nothing to do with that anger. Friend, if your life is not where it ought to be and it's your fault, you should be mad at yourself. But don't stay there. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. It turns into bitterness. Be angry for an hour. Use that energy to figure out where the answers that you're looking for are and go get them. And go kick some butt. I'm going to tell you where the answers are. We're going to show them to you. First of all, open up your Bible. Open up your Bible and start reading it. Go meet Jesus. Go stumble in the back door of a church and get to know Jesus Christ. After you do that, or while you're doing that, check down below, Financial Sovereignty Academy. I will teach you how to succeed with money. I will teach you how to succeed with money. And I'm just referencing the Bible. I mean, you can go read the Bible and toss this stuff out for yourself, but I want to really point it out to you. Sign up for the Financial Sovereignty Academy. Chuck Taylor just said, at Crypto Jeb, you are a master, bro. I'm going to join your academy. Thank you. You ought to. Anybody who's in FinSov Academy, drop a 1 in chat if you love it. It's still new. I mean, we just launched it a few months ago. Anybody in chat? Anybody here? in the Financial Sovereignty Academy. Let's hear it. Sign up for FSA. We're going to teach you how to succeed with money. I'll show you real quick. I want you to succeed with money. Hey, here's something. People are like, oh my God, Jeb, you're just pushing your academy. Why are you doing that? Do you know we don't charge much for FinSov Academy? I ain't over here like making bank on FinSov Academy. That was never the goal. The reason I'm pushing FinSov Academy, because by the way, we could fill this ad slot with somebody else. I mean, sponsors pay a lot of money, right? The reason that I push FinSov Academy is so hard is because it's the thing that's going to help you the most of anything we've ever put on the channel. It's going to help you more than CT2A. It's going to help you more than NordVPN. It's going to help you more than Blowfin. We love all those products. They're all phenomenal. FinSov Academy is even more important. We've got all this content over here in FinSov Academy. Get in here and start learning how to get your money in order. Because most of you guys have a hot mess. I love what Dave Ramsey said one time. He said, most people's financial portfolio is like a 3-year-old running around in a poopy diaper, and man, that thing smells, but at least it's mine, says the toddler, right? That's most people watching right now's financial position. It's a poopy diaper. It smells like crap, and it hurts. And the other part of the analogy is maybe without a little bit of help, you can't fix it. But maybe if you actually learn something, maybe if you actually put down the video games, you put down the alcohol, you put down the drugs, you put down the porn addiction, you put down the whatever it is that's in your way, and you say to yourself, I'm going to learn, I'm going to do whatever it takes to actually succeed. Maybe if you actually put a little bit of heart into it, put some elbow grease in, say, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to sign up for the Financial Sovereignty Academy. I'm going to watch the content. I'm going to do what we tell you to do. Because maybe this Jeb guy who's been teaching on money for the better part of a decade and has helped thousands of people, maybe he knows a little bit better about what I ought to be doing with my money than I do, because I clearly don't know what I'm doing. Maybe if you sign up and you actually learn through, study through the Financial Sovereignty Academy, maybe something will change. In fact, I know that if you watch through the Financial Sovereignty Academy and you do what we teach, you will do better with money than you are right now. You're going to. You're not going to go through the FinSov Academy, actually do what we teach, and be worse off. It's not going to happen. If you do what we teach you in the Financial Sovereignty Academy, you will make every single penny of your investment back and way more, because wisdom bears fruit. The prosperity of fools shall destroy them. The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 31 says, the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Let's just read from Proverbs 1 a little bit. I've just memorized them. I'm going to show it to you on screen. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, this is basically like she's sitting in Times Square shouting as loud as she can. Wisdom is. How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Wisdom is begging you to listen, and you won't listen. Because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set it not all of my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. I am not Lady Wisdom, but I am trying to share with you what wisdom states, and wisdom is telling you what to do with your money. And if you won't listen, don't be surprised when hell comes to pay a visit. I would never exalt myself to the position of God and say, you have to listen to Jeb McAfee. You don't. You could turn this stream off and never come back again. But don't you dare turn your back on wisdom. You will regret it. I guarantee you. Mark my words. You can take that to the bank and cash it like a check. You will regret it if you don't choose to be wise with your money. I promise you. I promise you. If you do not choose financial wisdom, you will regret it. You have a choice to make. Keep walking towards the cliff, or make a wise decision and start being smart with your money. The prosperity of fools shall destroy them. I've lived that myself. I have been very successful, had a bunch of money, and was a fool and lost so bad. I have had my face pushed straight through the mud because of my own stupidity. I was given a blessing and I couldn't carry it correctly. I didn't know how. I was too dumb and it blew up in my freaking face. Don't think that just because you are blessed right now that you will continue being blessed, because if you don't have wisdom with that blessing, then you will lose it and the fall will be greater than the ascent and you will regret it. Please, whether it's with me in FinSov Academy or somewhere else, get wise with money, and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So please be careful about what that wisdom is rooted in. Wow, Jeb, I literally just said this. No, not signing up for FinSov Academy is not, you don't have to sign up for FinSov Academy, but you do have to pursue wisdom, whether it's with me or someone else. I would never exalt myself to be God and say, you have to follow me. You don't. You can tune out. We never see each other again. But you do have to follow God. You do have to follow God, and you do have to follow wisdom. And if you don't, you will regret it. Every single last one of you under the sound of my voice will come to realize that I am correct on that. Whether you admit it or not, you will come to realize that I was right. You need to follow wisdom, and you need to choose to follow the Lord Jesus Christ and what he has to say. Please, I beg you. I beg you. All right. We're going to have to wrap it out. Before we do, let's give just kind of a bit of an overview here. Bitcoin is down to $78,000. We've been buying down here. Very excited about these levels. Ethereum below 2,000. Not happy about that. Disappointed in Ethereum. I don't see as much development going on in ETH as I do on other coins. Just full transparency, we bought Solana and Cardano on this dip as well. Very excited about all this. Solana's a great project. It's down a lot. Good buying opportunity. I think it's doing better technically on TVL, adoption, growth, all of that, than Ethereum. Cardano at 68 cents. I'm not as confident on Cardano, but I do think it's going to rally. I mean, the thing about Cardano is I don't feel like Cardano is doing as well as Sol, but I do think that Cardano is way below its all-time high. So even if it's not doing as well, it doesn't have to do as well to get a similar kind of return. So pretty excited about what Cardano is going to be able to accomplish. Even if it doesn't go back to all-time high, it'd still be a huge rally from where we are now if we even got within spitting range of it. Binance sitting below $600. If you believe in Binance, that's a pretty good entry. I mean, Binance might as well be a stock here in the cryptocurrency space. I mean, more or less, right? It's not. I'm not calling it a security. I don't think it should be regulated as a security, but there's obviously going to be a lot of correlation between the success of Binance the exchange and Binance Coin. So that's exciting. Chainlink, great range to be looking at it. Chainlink is probably going to do very well this cycle. We don't think the cycle's over, but again, and I want to say this, I mean, it's very possible the bull market is coming to a conclusion. This is the bear market. I just don't think so. I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. I don't think that's what's happening right now, though. In fact, even as we speak, it kind of looks like a bounce is happening. So that's exciting. Main thing to keep in mind on the daily chart is that there is now, if we hold this bottom, unless something very seriously changes, there is now bullish RSI divergence. We just printed it while we were watching. So that's phenomenal. We may have just put the bottom in. Could see that. I could see that happening. We could have just put the bottom in. So we'll keep watching. Subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. Just very excited about where things are going. Very excited about the market right now. Choose to be financially sovereign. Choose to be financially sovereign. Get a chew said it's supposed to be us Christians who to be fruitful, replenish the earth, and control it according to God's word. Genesis 1:28. That's right. All right, guys, I got to wrap it out. We're running over time here. We will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to wrap it out. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Sign up for the Financial Sovereignty Academy. Someone just asked, is there a FinSov community group? It's coming. We're building out the community for the Financial Sovereignty Academy. That's on its way, so make sure to stay tuned for that. We're going to wrap it out right now, but before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.